And now, The Bonfire with Big J. Oakerson and Dan Soder.
Oh, yeah, we got to make it a rock music day today, Dan.
Rockin' music. I'm standing. I missed Studio 5.
No one stopped you.
It's hard for Lou to engineer that.
It's really very easy for him.
It's fine.
Okay. I'm sorry. It's cold out and we're missing the tree lighting ceremony.
It is probably happening pretty soon.
I just heard him blasting Mariah Carey when I came into work, and I was like, get it.
You think it was her?
No.
Yeah, she had a meltdown last time, right?
Yeah, like the past couple times she's done it, I think the wheels started
falls,
coming
the music stops playing or something.
Yeah. She did New Year's Eve. It was a disaster.
Honey's still thick, though, am I right? Plap.
Yeah, plap.
Plap, plap, plap. It's Bonfire.
Blase, I ain't not to it. That's a reference to
Bonfire, blibbity, blobbity, yada, yada, yada. Dan Soder.
Comedy Central Radio, Sirius XM 95. Holiday season. We're cold. I'm Dan Soder. That's Big J. Oakerson.
I'm a train guy coming to work now, by the way. So you know.
You're a man of the people.
Yeah, I'm trying to make just, I don't know how much of a difference it makes, but I got a car, so I'm like, I should make that concession.
Yeah.
I shouldn't do a luxury at the expense of time also this time of the year.
How many times do you drive your car a week?
Well, we've only had it for a couple, 2 weeks, but we've more than I thought. I'm taking it to the creek.
Okay.
Oh, that's where I scuffed my wheel up.
Son of a bitch.
But I'm taking it to the creek every week, which is saving ultimately about $25, which isn't a lot of money. But it's just why not? It's also time to kind of enjoy it. You know what I mean?
It's funny that you have a West Coast gig this weekend when you just got a new car.
I know,
because it's like you want to hit that run where you're just all East Coast.
I got I should drive to North Carolina. I'm not going to do that for several reasons.
Yeah.
One, it's a lease. Two, it's too far. Two, it's just that I actually don't want to be in a car like that long.
Yeah.
I'd rather take the not even 2-hour flight.
But I'm in Boston, and that's the gig you want right when it's. Oh, didn't you have that? You had Philly.
I had Philly.
Yeah, at Philly. That's
right away.
Fun. But a Boston's a little bit longer. A 4 hour.
Boston's a longer drive. Well, it wasn't a longer drive. It was a 7.5 hour ride, if you remember. But I got stuck in that storm.
Yeah.
No, I know. But you just wish it was all packed up around there. I'll do DC.
That's driving. That's a fun drive.
I would do. Last time I used to do Virginia Beach with Dave Attell all the time.
Yeah.
It's like a weirdly 7-hour drive.
Really?
You're in Virginia in about 3.5, and then it's you could do 2.5 hours to get to where Virginia Beach is. When you come down to Virginia, then you have to go completely. And I don't even know how its distance is the problem. It's pretty much traffic lights the whole way to Virginia Beach.
That's frustrating.
When you're in Virginia, it's like a highway with lights, and then you hit the 27-mile bridge.
I'll tell you,
which is one of the most coolest things to drive on in the world, Chesapeake Bay Bridge.
Yeah, moving to the East Coast, you really saw how the turnpike in I-95 is built for efficiency. It's you're gonna fucking move. You want to get to
Atlanta all the time.
Yeah, if you want to go to Atlanta all the time. But
95 is the way to play it.
West. I grew up in Colorado, where it's all roads, and But the speed limit's higher out there. You forget because there's less people. So they're
Colorado?
Yeah, they're go fucking 75.
Oh, I saw signs 70, 75.
75. Yeah, go 75. And you're fuck yeah, I'll rip it up. Go up to 84.
I've seen for 80 signs before. It's pretty impressive.
That's a not populated area where they're whatever you feel.
I rode on the Autobahn once. I'm not bragging.
Really?
Nice. There
Hey, coming into this show.
Our guest joining us, everybody. You know him from that metal show on VH1, Crank Yankers, his own specials, his new book, everyone. It's Jim Florentine.
Yeah, sorry I'm late. I was waiting for the light to tree.
You had to go and watch it? I get it. I'm upset I'm here. I was pissed that I missed it.
I was joking.
I wasn't. I sent someone to film it.
I sent someone
Probably Clifford on YouTube. Probably don't have to go.
Yeah. Oh, man. But I want the experience. I want the rush.
I've met Jim's son now several times, and he doesn't seem like a kid that would be excited by not going to the tree lighting or parades. I try to condition my daughter also to be not into the stuff that I would never want to do, like going to haunted hay rides and shit like that. I want her to do the things I want to do, go to sports and concerts and stuff like that.
No, because his mom was saying, hey, I got you Thanksgiving morning, we'll watch a Macy's Day Parade on TV. He's like, oh, okay. And then when he got off the phone, I go, are you excited? He's like, no. I go, no, because you always say when you're here you want to watch a parade. He's like, no, I don't. He's like, no, I don't want to watch that. Yeah. I go, of course you don't.
I can't believe anybody watches it on TV.
Yeah, it's
a parade on TV. Even going to one sucks, let alone watching it.
I went to the Rose Parade one year, and it was terrible. It was just terrible. We waited out. It was my sister. It was me and my sister and her other half brother that I'm not related to, Dan and Dawn, her two flanks, and my sister. We like camped out on the Rose Parade route, and then when the parade happened, I was just like, "This is what we fucking slept outside for? Is this?"
Parade. Oh, the only parade I've been in, the Mummers Parade, which is embarrassing but ridiculous. That's the Philadelphia drunk fest that is New Year's Day Mummers Parade.
Yeah,
I've been in that, which was awful. And then I went to, when I was at my dad's one time, because he lives in Canton, Ohio, Hall of Fame parade.
It's always the first preseason game of the year.
Yeah, the parade, though, I mean, like, you know you're at a shitty parade, when not to speak ill of the dead, but it goes, everyone, put your hands together for your Grand Marshal, Jay Thomas. Yeah. Okay. I get, it's not even a football player. It's Eddie LeBeck from TV's Cheers.
Bringing in a character actor comic, they're like, oh, fuck. Yeah, parades of, it's good that, it would suck if your kid was super into it. If he's like, Dad, can we go to the tree lighting?
Yeah, I'll find fault in anything and just go, look, do you really want to do this? I mean, look at, you know,
just find a way
or do you
out.
want to watch wrestling because he likes wrestling?
Would you? I mean, I thought you were just asking me, and I was going to get to do that instead of watching.
He loves wrestling.
Instead of doing this radio show, I was like, what? I can go watch wrestling while you guys talk, or what's going to happen?
Oh, Jim, you came in on a good day. I'm glad to know you're a notorious. Notorious is the wrong word. Legendary pussy crusher in comedy, and.
Jay has you on his board at home.
You're on my vision board. Jacob, we tried to find Jacob love or just some trim yesterday when we all went to lunch together next door at Del Frisco's. He fell in love with a young waitress. She didn't know, so when we started our live show, we had sent for her, and she came up and did the show with us. Turns out she had a boyfriend. But Jacob, you didn't make any aggressive moves to like even try to charm her.
First of all, you two were trying to fawning over her for 2 hours. You were both trying to make a hot girl laugh for 2 hours.
I didn't fawn once, dude.
I had to hold back from making fun of her ears the whole time. How about that?
The second she put her hand on your arm, you turned to guacamole.
Guacamole, good Dos Caminos reference.
You were like Jello.
Yeah,
and the second she said that she took her top off, I saw missiles go off in your eyes.
Oh yeah,
you were both into her, and all this talk of making me out to be the guy in love. You guys were madly in love with this girl, and
I wasn't madly in love. My girlfriend's right
2
here.
Hours, our waitress from those.
But you didn't ask her right off the bat if she had a boyfriend?
No, they told me when I had already found out she had a boyfriend in the hall.
What you do is you just go, hey, you want to come on a radio show upstairs, Sirius? Is your boyfriend going to mind if you come on? Then you find out if they have a boyfriend.
Oh yeah, we felt we were just going to go for it and stuff. But we've been telling Jacob to get this hairstyle for a long time.
Yeah,
he won't do it. But what her boyfriend, bald head, beard. I don't know why you don't give it a whirl. Did you go home in jacket? Did you go home in jacket to the bikini pictures?
I didn't.
Did you see him though?
I did.
That's great.
I was proud of myself because I had to stop because Instagram, you can go nuts, man.
Yeah, you can go deep.
Well, how come you didn't do it to her pictures?
I have this problem. Like once I know someone's unavailable, I can't make myself.
You won't break up a relationship.
Really? I come quicker.
I can't. And I've never been able to.
She's a cutie for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, good body.
She's incredible, right?
I mean, it's funny. He's going to start talking about her. That was just a jealous lashing out. He goes, you two loved her. I was here for her, and you two with your damn words.
I'm just saying.
Your words and your jokes.
I admitted
You're absolutely right,
though. You guys pretended like you were too cool for school.
I wasn't pretending.
I think she's smoking hot, but I wasn't like
Jacob.
Smitten with her.
And Jacob, and I wasn't pretending I was too cool for school. I was back to 8th grade mode of just sitting in the corner talking. She touched my forearm 3 times. I locked up.
I know the count.
I will say that I was a little upset because she posted a Twitter from here yesterday and goes, "Thanks so much for the laughs, Dan Soder and Big J Oakerson," and she tags the Bonfire, and it's just a picture of you and her. Which I was like, she came in and got sodered.
No.
You put him under that Soder spell.
You must have muscular forearms.
She felt it. She goes, "Oh, that's some power. This guy can whip a baseball. This guy's got a two-seamer."
Were you Jacob's not a very aggressive guy with stuff like that. Neither am I. Are you walk right up to a chick and just lay it out?
No, it's usually at the show because if they see you on stage, you get knock all that nonsense out of the way.
I'm 100. Patrice always said that the superpower is going away a few steps from the. That's why I've never. It became because the one time I did it, I was like worried that I wasn't going to get back to where I had to be in time to leave town. I was just like, it was a weird Alaska situation. I've told it on here before, I know. But now, when anyone in my life, like beyond that, would kind of be like, hey, you want to go to a bar 10 minutes from here even? I'm like, no. Like, I'm nobody at that bar. Like, right here, I'm still the shit. Like, let's stay here.
Yeah, you always want to keep them close, because then also if you go to that bar 10 minutes away, you got people from their high school have been trying to fuck them for 20 years.
Just flying.
And you walk in and she's showing you off as the comedian. Just the comedian from the show, and that guy's been trying to get in pants for 20 years, and you're already ahead of him in an hour.
And that's the guy that keeps telling you to make him laugh. Yeah. What do you got? Tell me one of your jokes.
Yeah, really? I never heard of you.
The night I got passed at the cellar, I was dating this girl, and she was like, I'll be around the corner at this bar. And I was like, oh, I'll meet you at the bar. And I was like flying high. I got passed at the cellar, and I went there, and she's like, this is like one of my best friends, Chris. And her and I had been fucking. And the dude was like, that exact thing, like, oh, you're a comedian? I'm like, yeah, I just got past the Comedy Cellar. He's like, oh, cool, I never really heard of you, whatever. And it was like, oh, you clearly hate me, because oh, it was terrible.
When I did Mayhem Fest, there was a girl who I met in Denver.
Okay.
She's like a block. Nothing happened with her, but she like it was very flirty for sure. And I think she did actually like me a little bit. And then she came to the show in Philly, same tour, like a couple weeks later, and came. And a guy, she goes, "I'm coming with my friend." And I'm like, "Great, whatever." And she came that night. Basically, it seemed at least like to kind of flirt and hang out with me.
Yeah.
And this dude was just like a morbidly obese guy, heavier than I was at the time, and I was heavier than I am now by far. There, but he got her like a limo. They came down from somewhere in Jersey in a limo, and this guy, and she kept going like, "No, I can go backstage with you. Like, he's my friend. He's just doing it." And he was by himself, by the way, without her. So like, no, he's totally fine. And it was like 3 or 4 of those over the course of the night where I had to tell her, I go, she's like, "Can we go hang on the bus or do whatever?" And it had to be like, "I think you should go with your buddy." It's like, I've just been him before. Enough. Not a zillion times. I don't want to make myself sound like a sad sack, but I've been the guy who's along, and like the girl you're hanging out with likes one of your buddies, and you're just like, "Oh, I did say I was just her friend," and like you don't know what to do. So I was like, I just felt for that guy so much, I just sent her on her way.
Have you ever been that guy?
Yeah, because I used to hang out in the strip club, so I was like the strip club driver.
Oh man,
for a while. So I would, drop the girl off and then pick her up at like 2:30 in the morning. And sometimes she goes, "Oh, I'm going to go home with him," and I'm like, "No, but I just woke up. I got to get up at 6 to go cut lawns, and I'm picking you up at 2:30. No, but he's going to give me a ride home. I'm fine tonight." And I was just trying to wear her down.
Wearing down's big. That's like outside of comedy. I was saying when I was a waiter, I had success because you work these shifts and you just like wear them down over time. And waiters go out drinking after their shifts, so you're like, "Hey, you want to go out?" And it's just an immediate thing of like, "You want to blow off some steam?"
I've never had the this has been a long time coming ever. It's never circled back around.
It's always just like a one shot. Have you wore someone down?
Yeah, I've done it. Yeah, but the service industry, that's easy because they're all fuck ups to begin with. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they're all got problems. They're all fucking alcoholics, drug addicts. They got 2 DWIs.
There's always a history with everybody. No one comes in clean.
Their personal lives are like strippers. The electricity's off. They get paid in cash every night, so they go out and spend it. And
Coke nonstop.
Coke, absolutely. Percocets. The staff at the comedy club, they always go out afterwards. Like they know the bar, they know where to go, and they'll drink till like 5 in the morning.
That was Christine's whole. She said with the service industry, that's what it is. Like they all went. You always go to the same bar.
Yeah, because they know you.
The staff goes to like one bar afterwards every night, and everyone knows each other. And so you're a watering hole. I never had that. I started comedy young enough that like I worked in that world. So my night off, if people were like, "You want to go hit the bar?" I'd be like, "No, not tonight. I'm in bars constantly." For work, so you know what I mean. Like I've never
it's different though when the wait staff
game like that.
When the wait staff goes out drinking, I've seen this is always a rare occurrence, but it happens where someone from the restaurant that'll eat at the restaurant eats dinner, leaves, go to a bar, and then goes to a second bar, and that's where the staff's at. And I've seen people hook up like that. Like, girls I work with be like, I hooked up with a guy that was at my table tonight because I just saw him at the bar when we were out. And waiters blow off steam in such a fucking fast way that they walk in and they're like, shots.
Yeah.
You want to do shots? Let's fuck in the bathroom. It's just like 0 to 60.
They're trying to catch up because they haven't been drinking all night, or maybe sneaking a couple, but they got to catch up quick.
And they always overshoot the mark. And then by 4 a.m., they're like, let's just keep fighting. The psychos they're doing below are like, let's keep going. Let's get breakfast.
I've never worn a girl down, but I've had a girl over the course of the night keep acting like the reason she's there is I'm where. Like she definitely wanted to fuck from the get go. You know what I mean? And she keeps going like, I was like, oh, I'm gonna get out of here, and she goes, all right, like, I guess I'll come back and hang at your place. Like that kind of shit. And you're like, sure, I guess.
I don't know if I've ever told you.
I'm not going to suck your dick if that's what you're thinking. I'm like, yeah, you don't even have to come back. It's totally fine. He goes, no, well, what am I? It's only midnight. What am I going to do?
Waitress from Caroline's, I went out drinking with the staff after one night, and her and I, very drunk, like 2:30, 3 in the morning, made out front. And she's like, do you want to walk me home? And I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. I'm wearing this girl down, flirting with her every time I'm doing shows on Mondays, wearing her down. And I'm like, yes, all right, we're going to walk home. We started walking south from Caroline's, 49th Street, keep walking. Every time I'd be like, hey, let's just get a cab. Where do you live? And she's like, it's not that far. She kept saying not that far. We walked from 49th Street to Wall Street.
Motherfuck.
Really?
And every time I'd be like,
too tired to fuck.
Yeah, I know. Plus she wears off her buzz by doing all that walking.
That was exactly it.
Right,
dude.
Yeah.
She kept stopping to make out with me, and I'd be like, well, it's clearly going this way. And then we got there, and right when we got to her apartment, she goes, I gotta walk my dog. And I'm like, cool, you want me to come up? She's like, no, thanks for walking me home. I was like, that's what this was. It was.
Did you ask her for cab fare back?
I should have.
60-some bucks?
I should have.
60-some blocks, I mean?
Yeah, dude, it was insane. I got on the 4 train and fell asleep and woke up in the Bronx.
Gee, so the whole night went like to shit from where we thought it was going.
And then I got home. I remember exactly when it was. It was when the ESPN 30 for 30, June 17th, 1994 came out. Because I came home and drank a fucking Arizona iced tea and smoked a cigarette inside and watched it and was like, I'm fucking defeated. That had me walk her home.
That's one you don't even beat off when you get home.
I was so upset. Done. She got me.
Yeah, sometimes you're going to lose. You're going to lose something, It's just the way it is.
You should do motivational speeches for like the guys.
You really should. Jim told me a long time. It was so funny. I was said that I was talking to some girl and she got so excited that I knew Jim Florentine. She was such a big fan. He goes, man, call me anytime you want. He goes, the middle of the night. He goes, if I get Wingman, guy getting pussy, and I'm telling you, I was like a 22-year-old, 23-year-old. Keith just brought us up, and I was like, a girl was really excited that I knew you. And he was like, anytime. He goes, call. He goes, I'll do the voices, whatever she wants to hear.
I'll do the special ed voice, whatever she wants to hear. I don't care, whatever. I just want the assist. I need points.
You're like, dude, you're in the Hall of Fame, and you go, you press amount of goals. You go, check out the assists.
I know.
Whoa, those are points.
Points too.
Gretzky also had the assists.
I know. During the end of Gretzky's career, he had like 10 goals and 100 assists.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'll just take even when I was married, I'd always help the feature try to get laid.
Dude, that's fucking great.
I'm like, I'll go talk to a friend. I'll keep her busy. You know what I mean? All this stuff. I go, I just want the assist.
Hell yeah.
One of the only times I got laid on the road was when I was emceeing in Albuquerque, and the headliner was like, it was at the condo. And I was sleeping on the couch. The feature left to drive to the next gig. It was a Saturday night, and it was just the headliner and I. And he was like in the master bedroom, and I was on the other bedroom, and this girl and I were drinking beers in the living room, and he was not assisting. He was flexing his credits. He was a magician. I don't want to fucking out the guy's name, but he was a dirty magician, and every night he would basically just do this act where he would be their hands. It was one of those things.
Oh, shit. And then you get them to grab your dick, right?
Yeah.
Oh, my balls are itchy.
Yeah.
I'm smoking a joint.
So this guy was fucking, we were drinking High Lifes, and this guy just fucking came in trying to cock block hard. It was one of the worst experiences where I was like, fuck this guy.
I was on the road for so long with Attell, even before Attell, like Patrice a bit, and those two they're not at all into I get it now at my age, but they were not into the, hey, let's hang out and see if some pussy falls in our lap even, guys. Right. Especially with Attell, like when he stopped drinking, it was a wrap on that. It was like, show's over, meet the people, go right back to the place. Like Attell used to drag me kind of out to the things that I would never normally do. We're going to this bar and that bar. But once he stopped drinking, that was it. And he was never like, hey, Dave, I got these 2 girls. When I go back to it just never seemed like he would even be like, yeah. Because all the things I would want to do, he would just find weird. I'm like, let's put on some tunes, man. Get these girls to play Truth or Dare. He's like, what? I'm 45.
I'm going to go smoke a cigarette in the bathroom. With you, did you ever notice a noticeable change in like the road and like going out and that shit? Like whether it be like cell phones coming out? Because it's crazy to me to think about doing comedy. Whenever I'm on the road now, I'm like, I can't imagine what it was like early 2000s when you couldn't bring, or not have a cell phone. You just have to like call people's numbers. I always had a cell phone on the road.
I'll tell you, the days that are over probably is thinking you're going to get away for any extreme amount of time being like a married guy or like a committed guy in like a monogamous relationship and fuck on the road. And like not be complete, you know what I mean? Like if you're putting yourself at just one Facebook post. Yeah, hey, it was great sucking your dick yesterday.
1994, you could fuck a girl in Kansas City and be married, and no one would ever find out.
That's what I mean. It's like you could almost start a family.
He wouldn't even know how to contact you. Where you'd write a letter to your house.
You just have to keep checking the paper.
Get the address, but now he could just go on, my Facebook page and see that I'm married. And
he could tell my mother.
Yeah, exactly, and say, hey, you're.
It's like Trish, your son got my wife to suck his dick. My mom's like, Daniel,
you slanging it like that in Beantown?
Daniel, I just got a Facebook message from a man that says that his wife blew you in Kansas City.
It's got to happen a zillion times a year.
But in '94, you're just like, oh well, I hope I see you again.
Yeah, I just say, I'll be in town and
18 months.
Yeah, in about 18 months.
Yeah, whenever I cycle back around.
Well, the thing is, if there's any hot girl in a town that you hook up with, she's never single the next time you come around.
Ever.
Because they get snapped up too quick. There's only a little window where they're single.
How about when they bring the guy to the show? And
that's always weird. They bring the guy the next time a year later, and the guy's like, oh, you were fucking her before I met, You know what my move is now? If the girl a year later goes, hey, I want to come to your show, I go, okay, I need every name to put on the guest list separately. So then I see if there's a guy, I go, oh, look, the guest list is full. Sorry, I can only get one in.
Yeah. My best friend,
so I put instead of me,
goes, I need DOBs.
Melanie plus 3. Yeah. I don't know who's. I'm hoping it's 4. So now I just go, give me every name.
I'm into fucking rugby teams now. It's me. I got Melissa plus 11.
As soon as I see the name Steve, I go, nah, guest list is full.
That's so funny. She goes, that's my gay brother.
It's one of my favorite. I always say some of my favorite things are Christine getting to see, and like with what we do, like getting to see the male perspective of things.
Yeah.
And she's had that a couple times where we've gone somewhere, I think, and someone we hooked up with before has like a boyfriend the next time, and her going through the disappointment too of like, oh, well, why are you bringing him then?
But the best is,
we don't want to meet him, you fucking weirdo.
Even seeing someone that has a boyfriend that you used to hook up with, the funny thing is the first time they get the we in there, and they're like, well, I think we're going to go to my mom's house. And it's like a quick under the radar. You're like, what was that we? And they always bring it up again, like, well, we're going with my boyfriend and I. And you're like,
That would probably be, look, it was, we had a whole trial about it in here for Christine just kind of dwelling in this world before she met me. But it was, her numbers are extremely low and out of my range of knowledge anyway for people. But like, that's the other thing with dating girl comics. If you get like serious with one, you're like something. You know what I mean? Like some comic whipped his dong out for her or something, or sent a dick pic, or I mean, like I legitimately asked Amy Schumer to send me a picture of her pussy once, like in my life. Now I did it like in a joking kind of way, but it was definitely in a way of like, maybe she'll send it. This is Amy Schumer open mic comic. You know what I mean? So it's like there's a thing, you know what I'm saying? So when you meet, even like I said, like her husband or something, not that it didn't do anything, there was no flirtation back and forth at all. I'm just saying, you're thinking like, hey, guy that respects her and takes care of her and wants her to be happy. But you know what that is? I tried to get her to send me a picture of her snatch once.
Yeah.
That's funny because I was just hanging out with Rachel Feinstein, her new husband. Yeah. He's great, Pete. He's awesome. And I was so happy that I didn't ever hooked up with Rachel, so I didn't feel guilty.
That's how I felt.
I've known Rachel for 20 years. We've never done anything ever. We've always been good friends, and I was like, yeah, man, what's going on? I just didn't feel like uncomfortable.
No weirdness.
I wonder if he asked.
You've never been perverted towards her.
Never.
That's the thing. And then you're like, hey, fucking nice to meet you.
Forget almost hooking up, like perverted towards somebody.
I mean, shooting perverted energy at someone. When you've shot perverted energy at someone and you meet their other person, you're like, fuck, hey, dude, I was a real animal.
I had some situation in my life where I was being perverted to somebody, and they go, no, I was like, I have a boyfriend, I can't do that. I was like, I just treating it like, very, like, wow, it's not, I'm not asking her to fuck or anything, whatever it was. But she's like, no, I was like, you know him, and like said the name, and you're like, fuck, I do.
Oh, buddy,
that makes me feel terrible.
Yeah. It's the pervert ray when you shoot your pervert ray at someone and you're like, hey, you start talking.
It's the feeler line. Yeah, you know what I mean?
You start talking through your teeth. You're like, what's this way to do that?
For me, it would always be more like in trying to get things. So it's like the perversion always kind of went to like, oh, I mean, that's got to earn me at least a picture of your pussy, right?
I did. A girl that worked at the stand was bartending, and I was like, you want to go see Queens of the Stone Age? And she's like, well, my boyfriend needed a ticket. I was like, yeah, I am too. I was like, yeah, I want to bring everybody. It's just fucking getting the wind knocked out of you.
It's like, his favorite band. This is going to be such a big deal for him.
Yeah.
You're still trying to gain points. You're like, oh, I'll even buy the tickets.
Yeah, I could take that. I could just I'll spot you guys. What a lucky guy.
You're just saying, like, I don't know if I can get 3 tickets together.
Oh, dude, that's what it was.
4 or 2 is a lot easier. 3 is that's going to be tough.
Listen,
they're not going to be good seats.
They're comped, so it's like 4. They do them in pairs.
What's the most amount of people in one room that you've been around? Like at a gathering.
Oh. I don't know. What about you? Do you know offhand?
No.
I was at a wedding once. It was 4.
Wow.
4 at one wedding. A wedding, that's a weird one too, because it's all like, did you fuck a lot of people in that family, or did you fuck like
just different people that were there, like, over the years?
After hours hang, when I waited tables, there was 4.
4?
Yeah. One was a quick one, and then 2 I dated, and then there was a new one, a girl that I was dating.
Me and Christine may have had I think like possibly when you went with me recently on a gig, there was like 2 or 3 maybe in a play, which is pretty weird.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah, there was recently for you guys.
Yeah.
There was one I think I can count, and I know we're very open on the show about their sex life. 2 people.
Oh, I think that more than like any men in my life, where I've been like, oh, there's 3-4 men here I fucked. So I'm like, oh, there's 3 chicks here that, and it's kind of weird. I'm like, there's like 3 chicks here that all know what it's like to fuck my boyfriend. That's super weird.
And then
there's 4 chicks. You're one of them, Christine. You know what it's like too.
Stop. Come on.
I gave you the biz at the end.
Yeah. You close.
You're the
you close with a solo. We always wrap it up with a solo.
Wow, thing.
Yeah.
Bam, man, we got to take a first break.
Yeah.
It's about that time. We're hanging out with Jim Florentine on the show today. We'll be right back. It's the Bonfire.
Oh, when do you want to spot that burglar?
Hey!
When he's casing your home, or when he's in it? Man, I'm just so pumped I said burglar right. I am an idiot.
The rest is cream cheese now.
Yeah, now it's just smooth sailing. Why don't you ask John, whose blink camera alerted, and then I blow it. Alerted him of burglars trying to break in while he and his family were home.
Yeah, there's other reasons to use it. It's not just checking on your mom with this camera.
Dude, blink cameras are awesome.
There's burglars.
Apparently there's someone who writes the copy that knows I can't say that word, so they're just peppering it in here.
Why can't we double space these? I keep wondering. We've been asking for 4 years now.
Yeah.
Oh, why can't we double space? They're so hard to read.
Yeah, both times blink. Well, also the word burglar is pretty hard to say if you're an idiot like me. You guys know what blink motion cameras are. We got them. We gave them to the people we love. I watched the men come and go out of my mom's townhouse.
Non-stop.
Jay gave them to Gas Digital so they could use them as a security system.
So many bald spots.
They're wire-free. They set up in minutes, and they only run on 2 AA batteries that last up to 2 years. And if you're traveling over the holiday, Blink's live feed option lets you monitor your home and check in on pets from anywhere using the Blink smartphone app. No contracts, no subscriptions. Totally affordable. So go, they're a great, I was trying to skip ahead. They're a great holiday gift.
Blah, blah, blah.
Blase. Great way to monitor your holiday package deliveries. Just go to blinkprotect.com/holiday, blinkprotect.com/holiday, and Blink is an Amazon company. That was a botched one. Sorry, Blink.
And now, back to the Bonfire with Big J. Oakerson and Dan Soder.
if he was still this cool in real life. The music still. This is new music. It's good.
Yeah.
But there's no way he sings like. I mean, this has got to be 700 takes to get this level of clarity from him.
A lot of tea.
It's Marilyn Manson. We know where you fucking live. It's the Bonfire, Comedy Central Radio, Sirius XM 95. I'm Big J Oakerson. That's Dan Soder joining us. Of course, Jim Florentine, who's going to be at Treehouse Comedy in Connecticut December 1st with Rich Voss and Ron Bennington. That's a hell of a show.
Yeah.
After that, you can catch him at Hyenas in Plano, Texas on December 7th and the 8th, and at New Hope Cinema in Minnesota December 14th and 15th. For tickets and all Jim shows, go to jimflorentine.com. Yeah, dude, we went to go see him in concert, we were telling you, and it got rained out.
Yeah,
we got our broadcast in, and they didn't make it up, but...
Yeah, they let us broadcast live from right outside in the Jones Beach terminal thing.
Really?
Yeah, so it was pretty fun. We did a show, and then we were just there, as the show started, and then fucking storm came in.
They kept saying that the lightning hit the stands and shocked some people that wouldn't leave the stands, and that's why they had to not do the show, actually, but...
They cancel shows all the time whenever there's lightning, and like down in Asbury Park, they have an outdoor stage, a Stone Pony outdoors. They cancel them all. If they just see that some rain's coming, they just cancel it.
It's like, fuck this, we're not doing it.
Yeah, they didn't want to deal with it.
Fuck.
They're afraid to tell the man. It's got to be different for what kind of concert, though. If you're canceling that on, Neil Diamond or something, people will probably leave. What a sad evening.
Why don't we have our cheese and wine outside, and then if it does rain, we'll go inside?
Me and Bill Burr years ago went to go see Iron Maiden. It was a small venue, whatever. Was that Nokia Theater now it's called the PlayStation Theater, I think.
Oh yeah.
Up in Times Square.
Yeah.
We were going there to see them, and it got canceled. Night of, and then we just sat and people watched all the fat guys in sleeveless shirts telling you about the first time they saw Iron Maiden burn it down. Red Bank, New Jersey, man, they brought the heat that night.
Yeah, no one knew them.
Jacob's so excited for Iron Maiden. You gonna go?
I don't think so.
Well, I just don't care about him.
I really don't. I don't feel anything.
No, it's a good set list this time.
I missed it. I missed the whole boat. I'm too young.
It's tough to go back.
Yeah, there's certain bands.
Maiden, because also it's like over breaking down Zeppelin lyrics in your head. It goes, is he singing about Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
I've always loved Ramble On. Is he saying references to Mordor? That seems bizarre. And, so it's hard to go back. Manson's the same thing, too. You cross a certain age, and I think the angst of lyrics don't hit you quite as much anymore. This was something to punch a wall at when I was 23.
Yeah, and now you listen to it. But I've said that before. It's like metal used to be scary. The artists who used to be scary in metal, as you grow up, you're like, oh, you're not scary.
It depends what you're told is scary, though. My ex-wife grew up thinking, when she heard Def Leppard the first time, she's like, oh, this is like Satan's rock, and that couldn't be more pop bubblegum rock. Because that's Def Leppard, even at their hardest when they were younger.
Yeah, because I was young enough that hair metal to me was never dangerous, if that makes sense. Because it was dangerous, because it was coke and fucking all, the partying and shit. But I was young enough that when I got older, I was like, oh, what? That was dangerous back then? You know what I mean? But
I don't think it was dangerous. It was dangerous for different reasons, like sex and drugs. It wasn't a Satan thing
exactly.
So much. It was dangerous because, this is dragging you into a world of
exactly
just coke and fucking hair gel.
I wasn't allowed to watch MTV when I was little. Raised by a single mom, she's like, don't watch MTV. Because that's drugs and sex and shit. You don't do that. And I was like, but I want to. And I sneak it on. And she'd be like, are you watching music videos? And then I understand not allowing a child to watch MTV now because it's 16 and pregnant. It's just shit programming. But for my mom, it was that's...
Yeah, they used to make me turn off Culture Club and shit.
Yeah.
Well, because all the girls, especially in the hard rock and metal videos, were all, bikinis and stuff like that. And yeah, I know. So I could see your mom going, no, I don't want you to watch that. I was a little older, so she had no choice. But I remember being a little kid, and she hated that AC/DC Highway to Hell because she was very religious.
Yeah.
And the Ozzy Blizzard of Oz with the cross on the cover.
Diary of a Madman.
She's like, you can't bring that album in our house.
Real, that's that kind of shit.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, don't even bring it in the door. It's desecrating the Lord.
Yeah, and then a Diary of a Madman, he had an upside down cross on the back cover.
Yeah.
So that too, she's like, I don't want this in the house. And Ozzy was like the devil back then. He bit a bat's head off. He had to get rabies shots.
I mean, he did.
You know what's funny? At the same time, I had growing up that I bought in the school store an Ozzy Osbourne Bark at the Moon folder. That inside the folder was it was the making of him being that werewolf. It was a picture of him with the just blocking his own hair, and then the piece over, and then the fake teeth. It was like a walkthrough of it for a kid's folder. very, very bizarre. But in the hair metal era, the only thing I wanted to wear so bad was a half top, and I was always just too fat to put off. I had stepbrothers who were just super thin and just would wear like a half top with like a button-down shirt over it and just be so awesome, and I just couldn't pull. There's no way I would even have tried to pull that off. But what's the most, like, did you get into the glam effeminate dress at all?
Yeah, well, I never did the half top, but I did the scruff, the Kip Winger scruff.
Oh, yeah.
Because Kip Winger had the scruff on his face, and chicks went crazy, so I just grew like the scruff, so I had it on all the time.
So you would do the manicured 5 o'clock shadow, so you keep it at one length.
Yeah. And
was that like a thing where you're going out where you're like, let me length up my fucking...
I never had it like that, but I'm like, this is what's working now.
Yeah.
They went crazy over him when he came out, so I used that for like at least 2.5 years. That look.
It's so funny to watch. Like, as a guy, you watch women go to another guy and you go, what is he doing? Is there anything I can do that he's doing? You know, just like that. He comes out and you're just like...
You know, it's funny, I never even put that together. Kip Winger may have been the only guy at that time who pulled a beard. Everything else was about being very soft and almost like feminine faced.
Yeah.
Everybody, even like the Tesla and those guys, it was all like...
smooth shaven.
I mean, super smooth.
And
Not
even
like,
some makeup too, some eye makeup too. They wore that too. Most of the guys, no one had any scruff, but Winger came out with that, and that was it. So I took that look.
Nice.
Mark
Smart
Slaughter
move.
looked almost like a woman.
Yeah.
Mark Slaughter was almost beautiful, like a lady. And young Sebastian Bach.
Such a heavy accessories era.
I know,
You know?
I miss that. I do. That's what I wish I would have been more go for it at the time about, was wearing more accessories.
Yeah, it's a heavy accessory.
I wanted earrings so bad. My mom would let me get earrings for the longest time.
Yeah.
I just had the 2 earrings in the left ear, and then stretch pants were in for a little bit. So.
At what point did you, like, going and getting comfortable wearing stretch pants, when you got out of that phase, were you like, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. I remember my friend, because I had long blonde hair, and this one comic goes, "You look like Peter Frampton in a wetsuit." That was always a funny joke. But yeah, so whatever they did, whatever Bon Jovi was doing, or Winger or whatever.
Yeah.
Did you do the stretch pants into cowboy boots?
Yeah, and it tucked in the cowboy boots.
Hell yeah.
Fuck
yeah,
That's,
absolutely.
That's like a fucking
I used to draw you. When I was a kid, I used to draw that guy constantly.
You were in all my notebook drawings.
I wanted to be it so bad.
Oh,
you can go to my grandmother's house to this day and see me. I drew this guy.
Yeah.
Belts not in loops, just hanging.
Yeah, I was a big hit in Jersey and Pennsylvania with that look.
Dude, hell yeah. Probably
And it lasted longer, like, because it lasted into like 93, 94 in Pennsylvania, because they were always like, middle of it was always like 3-4 years behind. So when I first started doing comedy, I was doing all these shitty firehouses and VFW halls in the middle of Pennsylvania, and I kept that look way past, Cobain was already out.
Really?
Yeah, grunge, and I was still working that look. I'm like,
But you know what?
I milked it until I finally got it. I got to cut it.
Because there were women that saw you that were like, this guy commits. They saw you in that look, and they're like...
The natural progression, though, for the hair, glam, like, look of that, when grunge came around, was to just Scott Stapp it. You know what I mean? It was just cut the hair a little.
Yeah.
Exactly the end of Rockstar.
Yeah,
the Mark Wahlberg thing that's loosely on Judas Priest, I guess.
Where he just puts on the sweater and does acoustic
That's
sets?
it. Yeah, he just like, now it's like the no more bangs. You grow it all the same length. That's the natural progression to slowly morph out of it than just doing a straight... Metallica Fuel and just going like, I'm changing it all.
Yeah,
Did you change it all overnight?
No, I did it slowly. Bon Jovi cut his hair, and then I'm like, God, I got it now. You know what I mean? And then the Cobain came out, so I just cut it one length.
Yeah.
Because it used to be really long. I used to have it down down to here.
Jesus, how long?
Past my shoulders.
When you're doing shows back then, how long is the prep before the show?
Not too much, man. It was just,
just a bottle of hairspray.
Not even hairspray, a little gel or whatever like that, and natural curls. Girls would go crazy over, like, I pay a money for that. I'm like, well.
I would love to see Florentine just coming out fucking shaking it.
That's why I always said I always lived at home, because Mom always had the good conditioner.
Yeah.
Because when I moved out, I was using this shit. My hair looked like shit.
Yeah.
So I was just always going her shower and taking her stuff.
Catch a week at Mom's, come out glistening.
Were you friends with Tom Rhodes at all?
I didn't really know him. We didn't run the same.
You and him probably could have just crushed acid. He had good long hair too.
Oh my God, that would be like King Kong and Godzilla from the both coasts coming together.
It looks like you're gonna fight, and then they just hold hands and come turn on you.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you, man, that's why I got so much stage time in the beginning. Me and Norton would open for like Voss and Bob Levy and these other comics already around headlining.
Yeah.
Because they loved Norton because he was creepy, and they just couldn't believe a human being was like that.
Yeah.
And then they because I had long hair, so like girls would come up to me after the show and want to talk to me. So they just bring us both on the road all the time.
So there's just hot girls would be like, "How do you do it?"
I remember because I had like 7 minutes and I would bomb and I'd open the show, and then Voss would go up there and kill for like an hour and a half, and then I have like 4 girls talking to me after the show, and Voss would be like, "Did you see his set?
Yeah.
Did you just see what I did? Did you saw his set? And you're still talking to him?" Yeah.
Dude, Dice told us the story not long ago about how Norton came to open for him on the road. Was you guys were all hanging out in L.A., I think it was.
Yeah.
And then when he called to speak to Norton, like, you answered the phone and said he was like fucking a fat chick in a dressing room or something like that. He said it was like something like he loved that Norton was just tagging some awful big woman from Victoria's Secret.
Oh yeah, we went shopping with him, and some girl was a big Dice fan, and she's like, "Come on in the dressing room." She was getting changed. It was like the half door, and you could and he's like, "No, my friend will go in there." And he's like, "But I want you." He goes, "Let my friend go in there. He's going through a tough time." And she's like, "Okay." And then the girl was disgusting. No.
But because he did it, he was like, "I'll take this guy on the road."
Loyal.
Yeah.
Look at this guy.
Yeah, then he loved him. He's like, "I like this guy. He's a creep."
You got the gig.
Yeah. That's got to be fucking crazy. Just like he was watching Voss. That's hilarious. He's like, "How the hell did you get those girls?"
Voss is getting furious.
Your damn long hair.
Voss was a lines guy, though. Voss had the lines. I remember when he was single, Voss, it was just the same.
He's phenomenal.
Really?
He would just like cold talk him and just like throw a butt. He had like 5 or 6 lines he said every time. But
Can I buy you a house?
Going. Yeah.
Can I buy you a house? Can we just go make out real quick? Just 10 minutes out in the parking lot. And they have girlfriends. Can you just hang for 10 minutes? I just want to make out with your friend. That's it. I'm just going to make out
and
with her.
And they'd be like, "The audacity."
All right. Just 10 minutes. We're just going to take a walk.
I'm going to sell some CDs. We'll make out.
It was amazing, yeah.
This guy made out with me and then got me for $10 for one of them goddamn CDs.
He goes, yeah. He said,
I asked him if the material was different than I just saw. He said no.
He said it all goes to him. He's got a Rolex. His kids are hungry, but he knows what time it is.
Yeah, he doesn't know his kids are hungry, but he knows what time they're hungry.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. It's just weird to think what comedy is now in 2018. And it's like, if you want to meet a girl, she comes to a show, and then like, I don't stay around. I don't drink. So if there's like a DM, you know what I mean? Like it's more behind closed doors. Whereas back,
I think DeRosa is I don't think DeRosa is fucked when he was younger. I don't think he fucked before dawn ever. Like, he hangs in there till 5:30. They're kicking you out of a bar, and he's still there next to you. He goes, "You want to walk you back?" And he's like, "I guess you're going back, but we're not fucking." And when he gets there, the sun's coming up. He goes, "Guys, come in and piss real quick." Yeah. Like, he was just the guy who just rode it out to the end. He's banged a lot of hot chicks. And this isn't girls who were like, "Oh, like he took advantage of me" or anything. He just does this is the wearing down. He just grinds it out until like late night. I mean, plenty of times it doesn't work, but like sometimes it does. They're like, "Yeah, get in here. I'll take some dick. I'll get some dick before I go to bed, I guess."
Yeah, if you can put the time in. You know, when you're younger, I used to date a girl who did coke all the time, and she'd bring chicks home, and I wasn't doing coke, and it's like 6:30 in the morning. They're babbling at the table. I'm like, ugh. Yeah. I'm like, is this really worth it? I can't hang in there anymore. And I would just I go, look, I'm going to go in the other room. I'm just going to go lay down. No, because they want you involved. I'm like, nah, I'm just going to watch sports Center. You guys are fine. Just go talk. And then they would eventually come in the room. Like, I feel bad with leaving him by himself.
And then they come in, yeah.
Yeah, they would come in, but I'm like, I can't hang anymore. Even though I had 2 hot chicks, I'm like, I just can't. It's 6:30.
That's what stopping drinking did for me. But on a way like midnight, I'm like, get me the fuck out of here.
What's so funny is
I used to drink just through the night.
Right.
I can hang with coke people because I'd just be getting fucking hammered.
Yeah.
And then eventually I was like, I got to get out of this. This sucks when I quit drinking.
Me and Christine both not being coke or drinking at all really anymore. That is the funniest. Another thing that's funny to see Christine have to deal with is me and her together figuring out how do you get the girl, like how do you get from living room to bedroom, like that weird transition where you're like, so you want to check out and here?
It's like the 2 most skittish people in the world. Nobody knows how to do anything. We're like, do we know? Are we gonna? Never mind. You think I'm ugly.
You know how many times Christine's been making out with a girl and I start straightening up things in the house because I don't know what to do. Right, yeah. I like move something over here and I'm like, get that there.
There you go. Oh,
and, I take like the decorative pillows off the bed I'm like preparing everything. I don't know what to do.
You go, let me turn on the humidifier. Let me get my spice rack.
Then I get in bed and I lay in like this position, like this. So let's what's up? Yeah, I don't know. There's no smooth way to do it. As a if your mind is genuinely a comic, you can't take yourself seriously enough to like really try to pull a sexy move.
No.
You got to keep an air of like funny about it still.
Yeah, and you got to. Yeah, if you're the guy, you got to wait for your orders to join in. You can't just go over there and start grabbing. So you just hang in the peripheral and just kind of hang out. That's why I said I'd go in the other room. We're just gonna watch Sports Center.
That's so funny.
You guys, that's fine. Plus, I couldn't hear that conversation over.
It's like a space shuttle launch. You're like, there's clouds. Don't go in.
But especially if it's a repeat, there is still no thing. It's like two girls going at it, and I just like. I put a hand on a butt. Like I really that really is that. Just go. I put a hand on a butt and then a hand on a boob, and I'm like, I
would just do two subtle back pats. They'd be like, you guys are doing it. You guys are doing so great. Okay, you guys are going.
You want to hold your hair or whatever?
I go. I'm just doing the back rubs as they're making out. Hey, I'm right here. I've never had. Yeah,
buddy, it is so hilarious. It really is just like putting your. I just put it. It goes. But oh, is this good?
But you did the smart thing. You're like, I'm in the other room. Let me know.
One time, we picked up this one girl, and she wasn't. I guess my ex wasn't feeling her when we got back to the hotel, and she's like, "Look, I'm not attracted to her. You just go fuck her in the other room." I'm like, okay. I go, "You sure?" She goes, "Yeah, I don't care. I'm going to tell her I'm sick." And I'm like, "All right, fine, no problem. I got the permission."
And then she let you do it?
Yeah, she let me do it. Because usually you had to be there. There's always rules.
Sure, yeah.
There's always rules, so you got, we always had to do it together.
So she just gave you an off the clock?
She just said, "Look, I don't want to."
Good year this year. Why don't you take one yourself?
Yeah, she said, "Would you go for?" I'm like, "Of course."
Yeah, she goes, "You know what? This one's for you."
Thanks. That was, that was very nice of her.
I remember bringing Christine, a girl she wasn't attracted to. It's like, but I was just like, I'm like, no, but this girl. Like, she'll be really attracted to me because she's not that hot. And Christine was like, yeah, I don't want to. And I was like, come on, you can't give me this one where I feel like a champ?
It's like, you want me to fuck somebody I don't want to fuck to like make you happy? I'm like, that's not what we do.
I'm like, it's a girl.
Yeah.
I'm like, exactly. It's purely physical for me. I'd like a physical attraction.
She was right, though. It wouldn't have been good.
Oh, so you guys didn't go through with it?
No. We've never hooked up with
Have you ever had a girl leave the hotel, like, as she's sitting there, and you're like, all right, well, this is over. Like, called it?
No, me and Christine just figured out in the middle of it one time that we were both like, this chick sucks. In a hotel once, yeah.
Did you and your ex ever have that?
Where she just...
Like, you bail, like, the girl's back in the hotel room. Besides
where it didn't go down. She just, like, didn't feel it or whatever. And that's fine.
Yeah,
I mean, you want it to go through, but
it's just a weird. Know. It's like a failed job interview. At the end, you go, okay, you know what? My girlfriend and I are not going to fuck you, but thank you for coming in. You could take some soap from the bathroom and maybe some.
We've had a couple where we thought it was going to go down, and then it didn't, but it did the next time. Like it was kind of came over under the vibe, like this is going to happen, and then it just becomes like long bullshitting and talking and whatever, and then it goes good, but it's just like. It's 3 a.m. You know what I mean? Like we really can't now at this point or whatever. And so
it's hilarious, like not drinking, because whether it's a threesome or just a sex life, like that immediate like meet somebody and fuck them at a bar is gone. So we've oddly like dated a little bit more, where it's like, we meet a girl or Jay meets a girl and then we hang out with her again, and then maybe this third or fourth time we end up sleeping with them, and it's been so much better than just like fucking anybody because you're drunk.
That's true, but there was a hot though, like when hammered Christine, you'd almost have to be like, don't stop making out in the hallway of our building, please, with this girl. Yeah, like you're making out with this girl, and she's like, whatever, and she'd give the middle finger to the counter. Fuck you, building.
Suck my tit while I flip it off. You go, Christine, come on, it's 3 p.m. You were day drinking.
And now I'm like, hey, you want to bring this girl home and fuck? She's like, I don't know. It's gonna be weird. Is it gonna be weird?
Can we meet their parents first?
Yeah, it's way better when they're under the influence, whether it's some drinking or some drugs.
But the fucking's better without it. The fucking's better without the influence, but getting
I drink
to
so
it.
much that I've fucked up situations because I've just gotten too hammered.
Yeah.
So I wish I was a fun drunk. Unfortunately,
your ex was a cokehead. I mean, that's got it.
She was in coke, and
so did she fuck up situations? Just too much yak?
No, because she would always find. She was super hot, so she'd always find the one. I remember there's another girl. I was on like a second day where we went to some like dance club. We took Molly, and this couple was on the dance floor, and this chick looked like Pam Anderson in her prime.
Right, that's Jay's number one.
Mine was just starting to dance, and then they started dancing together. And some dude comes over, and goes, "Hey, is that your girl?" I go, "Yeah, we're just on a a date or whatever. He goes, hey, yeah, we're swingers. I'm like, oh, really? He goes, yes. He goes, my wife definitely likes your chick. We should go back to our place. It was right here in Manhattan. He's like, they've done it a million times before.
Yeah.
Like they saw her dance in mine, and then she came right over.
Yeah,
they're pros. So we pulled in their parking garage. He goes, no, you park right here, a special spot. You know what I mean? Because he knows.
Yeah,
he goes, no, don't worry about it. And we went over, and he was all fucked up on like Molly. So his wife was so hot. I was like a 9 3/4 on a scale of 1 to 10, and we're both just fucking around, fucking on the bed. And he came in like 2 seconds.
Yeah,
because my chick was so hot too, and he was all fucked up, and he couldn't get it up again. So I had both of them for like an hour and a half, and he sat at the corner of the bed, miserable,
really
miserable, because I was fucking his wife so hard. I'm like, I'm never gonna get a chance to fuck this girl this so
you're
hot.
Just playing for it. You're
and
Rudy.
he couldn't get it back up.
Rudy dick.
Yeah, and he couldn't. Exactly.
Yeah, you're like, I'm in the game. I'm gonna make the tackle. And then he's just like, come on. He's the fucking key in the car engine. He's going, come on.
He was overthinking it, and he couldn't get it up.
Just lock
like,
it up.
Dude, I don't know what to do. You're the pro here. He thought I was an amateur. I'm like, please, I'll take this over.
Yeah.
Jacob's trying to. We got to take our second break here so we can get our ads in, and we'll be right back. We're hanging out with Jim Florentine. Everybody, we'll be right back. We have another guest joining us when we come back. It's the Bonfire.
Guys, if you're not wearing Mack Weldon underwear, you are a swinger. You are a sexy dude.
Hell yeah.
Just walking around no underwear.
Big baller style.
Yeah. But if you do wear underwear, stop buying underwear that doesn't fit right and doesn't feel right. It's time for underwear that is right. Mack Weldon underwear doesn't merely imply comfort. It is comfort. No more feeling sweaty, rolling waistbands, chafing on riding up. They combine smart materials with smart designs like Pima cotton for maximum comfort, a ventilation panel. They even use real silver woven into the fabric.
Do they do that for my Thormorgular?
Well, Jay, actually, it's natural antimicrobial.
Microbial.
Microbial. See? This is why we're a good team. And thermoregulating properties that kill odors plus keep you cool and comfort. Hundreds of thousands of guys wear Mack Weldon, and if you don't love your first pair, they're going to pay for it. Seriously, they're going to pay for it.
Thermoeconomics.
Through thermoregulation. Buy them for someone you love. Buy them for yourself. Put them in a stocking. Put them in a box. Whatever you do. Try Mack Weldon right now. Get Mack Weldon underwear before the holidays. You'll save 25% with promo code Bonfire, but only until December 21st. Get 20% off MackWeldon.com. Promo code Bonfire. MackWeldon.com. Promo code Jay
Bonfire.
See, man, we're right back on top.
And now, back to the Bonfire with Big J. Oakerson and Dan Soder.
Hey everyone, it's the Bonfire, Comedy Central Radio, Sirius XM 95, Big J. Oakerson, Dan Soder. Of course, Jim Florentine hanging out with us. Jim's going to be at Treehouse in Connecticut December 1st with Rich Voss and Ron Bennington. Big show. Make sure after that you check him out at Hyenas in Plano, Texas, December 7th and 8th. And then at New Hope Cinema in Minnesota, December 14th and 15th. For tickets to that and all Jim shows, go to jimflorentine.com. Our second guest now in studio. Very exciting to have him back here on the show. I think last time he was here, he was hanging in the back.
I didn't say a word.
Yeah,
Didn't say a word. And it was really hard because we really wanted to talk to you.
Well, that's why I'm here today.
Goddamn right.
His new special, Big Questions, Huge Answers with John Doerr premieres this Monday at 11:30 p.m. The mystery is now out through that title alone, everyone. It's John Doerr joins us.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. Good to be
Thanks
here.
for coming on the show.
No, thanks for having me.
No, thank you for coming on the show.
No, thanks for having me.
John, let's not do this right now.
Let's leave it. You're right.
Hey, look.
Moving on.
Can we not? It's the holiday season.
Everyone
agree.
appreciates
You're
being
right.
on the show.
I
It's
apologize.
fine. We don't need any trouble.
You're
Thanks.
right. We got off to a bad start.
Yeah, really
Canadians get wily during Winter Olympics time.
yeah.
Drop of the puck.
Any sort of ice sport, they're starting to get fucking the horns out.
Yeah. There's a curler for the Canadian team that's gone into rehab, I believe. Yeah, because he was getting too drunk on the ice curling. So he's he's like, well, yeah, time for me to clean it up.
It's never going to be roids.
Yeah, that's the torn ACL of curling. They go, I get too hammered out there.
Or darts. Darts and curling.
Darts you could smoke.
Yeah.
Like that would be the fun part when you'd catch darts on like ESPN 2 at 2 in the morning. And they're just fucking
Really?
just ripping butts, drinking pints, and they're like, next up from Ireland is Seamus O'McNamara, and he's like a hell of a dart player. He's like, And he comes back and picks his cigarette.
Was there smoking in early bowling on TV?
Must have been, guaranteed.
PBA? Look up if you can look up old bowling on ESPN. There had to have been ashtrays filled.
It's so noticeable. I had to be watching The Tonight Show as a kid at a time where everyone was smoking.
Yeah.
Still, like Johnny Carson stuff, still smoking, but it didn't hit me at all then. And how jarring it is now when you see an old clip and you're like, holy shit, huh?
Yeah.
But I did comedy in New York when you could still smoke in the clubs. That would be a mind blown. If I saw a plume of smoke go up in the middle of a comedy club, you'd be like, what the and I smoke. But I'm just saying, it just seems such a weird thing.
It's totally bizarre. Like, even when we were allowed to smoke inside, starting in Ottawa, it was still like, this is clearly a public health issue.
Yeah.
You can't. It's obvious to anyone that this is, regardless of the ruling or whatever, this is smoke. The smoking section would be like a line down the middle of the room.
That's the best part is I remember going to restaurants with like my mom and like her friend, and she'd be like, "Do you want to sit in smoking or non-smoking?" "We're gonna sit in smoking," and you'd be like, "It's all smoking.
Right,
The smoke just goes everywhere."
Yeah.
It's
Like, how did they ever smoke on an airplane?
Yeah, that's crazy. None of us are that old, right? To remember smoking in airplanes.
I don't remember that, but I would love to be on an airplane where you could.
Jacob remembers smoking in airplanes. Jordy from Comedy Central remembers smoking in. That's got to be weird.
You smoked yourself on an air? Really? Yeah. You had you remember people smoking on airplanes?
There's still some weird, like,
that's crazy.
Where you can like, check a goat onto your flight. Like, there's still those flights where you can smoke, I think. There's some. Yeah.
Oh, I
don't think you can smoke on any flights.
I'm talking about a therapy pet for a second. But
where you bring on weird animals with you.
Yeah.
A dozen sheep are going to some sort of mountain.
There's a bunch of chickens in cages and smoking going on. Yeah,
I think smoking's your smallest problem there.
Right. Up to like 3 years ago, even Missouri, you could still smoke in the comedy clubs. The Funny Bone in St. Louis.
Yeah.
I remember Stanford's in Kansas City.
Yeah, I remember you smoking
They're
there.
like, no, we're not giving that up. People, they're not going to come out. I'm like, no, that was 20 years ago.
Yeah, they go, fuck that.
I remember when New York passed that law, everyone's like, now everyone's going to go to Jersey now because you could smoke. No one went over there.
No, everybody just went outside.
Yeah, they just went outside.
You smoke in Stanford? That was a lawless land, Stanford and Sons in Kansas City.
Yeah, I'm up to about a couple of years ago.
Rest in peace, Craig Glazer, man. What a character.
Oh,
holy shit.
Did you ever work at John?
No, I don't know.
Guy was a legitimate criminal.
Oh, is that right?
A legitimate criminal. Wrote a book about it.
I've worked for one of those guys, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have Breslin, who they say is the nationwide Craig Glazer. Where everyone's he's like, well, just like a notorious guy. I mean, nowhere near like Craig Glazer was a career criminal, I believe.
Yeah, he wrote.
And but what a crazy kid. Christine went with me to Kansas City once just to meet them. Guy.
Oh, he's a classic. I had him on my podcast a couple of times just to.
So what's his thing?
Well, he went to prison for robbing drug dealers. He pretended he was a cop.
Oh, wow.
And they would go sting operations and take all their drugs.
Are you familiar with the car, the Lotus?
Yes.
He picked you up like Pretty Woman. He picked you up like Pretty Woman to go do Johnny Dare.
To go do morning radio in Kansas City.
And then he got to the point where he got kicked out of like the local morning show there, Johnny Dare show, which is huge. It's like the Howard Stern show of that area. And he got in a fight with him, so he had to wait, and he was suing the building or the company, the radio station, so he had to wait in the parking lot when you did press in his car.
That's great.
That's so funny.
Divorced dad style.
And
it was like, go in there, do your stuff.
He got a DUI, and he had to blow into the friggin' machine.
That's the best when
and then
someone
at one
from the
point
club.
he couldn't drive after like 5 o'clock, so then I had to take over the wheel. He's like, can you blow into this? And then I had to drive. I'm like, I gotta fucking drive?
That's so great.
He's like, yeah, I can't drive after 5.
Getting in a car with someone with those machines, it's always like, oh, you didn't get one DUI. You got a lot of DUIs.
I've never been in a car like that. Have you ever?
Yeah.
I've never seen it before.
By the way, blow to start it?
Yeah.
Blow to
start
start
in that either.
The only times I have, comedy club employees.
Oh,
really?
Yeah,
getting rides and they go, hold on real second, I'm sorry.
Bar industry, yeah.
Johnny Dare got mad at me. Not mad at me. I just think he never liked me since this moment. He asked me genuinely on a night where he knows I was doing a show also, by the way, because where the club used to be was in Kansas, actually, at the Legends Mall.
Yeah.
And the hotel you were in was the big parking lot that had a brand new raceway, like built there, a speedway. NASCAR?
It was NASCAR.
And they go, you go into the, Johnny Dare asked me, he goes, you go into the Jackal show tonight? This is like less than 10 years ago. You go into the Jackal show tonight, the thing? And I was like, no. I just said it with with a laugh. Like, what a hilarious question to ask in 2000 anything. And I was like, no, I'm going to end up missing the Jackal show tonight. Just kind of like made reference to it jokingly a few times after. And then I got in the car with Craig Glazer. I go, man, Johnny Dare got weird in there, huh? He goes, yeah, you made fun of Jackal, and it's like his best friend. Like the guy from the lead singer of Jackal.
James,
it's his best friend.
Buddies.
And then I found out that Jesse James guy owns like they all own that Full Throttle Saloon in Sturgis. If you ever do the Sturgis gigs ever, that's a weird place for comedy.
Stepping on local radio friends is that's like a weird place because you don't know who's friends with, and you're like, fuck Jackal. He's like, that guy got me out of some dark times.
I can't think of local radio I do anywhere that I just Preston and Steve are fantastic. I like those guys, but there's a handful of guys in the country. The rest are disinterested to have you there.
Yeah,
they don't know what to ask you. Bob and Tom was just the worst in the world to me personally, but I know they helped a lot of people.
Mike Calta in Tampa's good.
He's great.
Mike's great.
Mike. Love Mike.
Mike's great.
Yeah, Mike's great.
Paul and Young Ron, but Young Ron retired down in Miami. They're good.
But it is weird when you just show up. You have to wake up so early after you had a fun show and you're in the city, and then you're just sitting there, and the guy's like almost trying to process you.
Yeah.
It's like, let's get you out of here. Let's do this paperwork.
Yeah.
What do we gotta say? He's got tickets. He seems pretty funny. They just give you a once over.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. All right.
I said no more to morning TV. I won't. I say it doesn't draw me any people with what I do. I have to put on jeans in the morning. It's just a waste of time. Unless you can
go in your robe.
What I see.
Yeah.
Do it. Make it fun.
No, you're absolutely right. I can't. For some reason, I can't fuck with people outside of the comedy. I'm not good at man on the street stuff and everything. So I love when I see like TJ. Have you done that? You've gone to morning shows and just done like fuck the world, like. Just ridiculous kind of stuff at all?
No, I try and have fun with it if I'm going to do it.
No, that's what I mean.
But not like fuck the world type stuff. Like, what do you mean? Like,
no, I'm not saying like that. I'm saying more just like I'm going to go and like commit to like this.
Oh, yeah,
like, we were saying earlier the stuff you and Rory did on Conan. Like I'd be so nervous going into that because it just seems untested. You know what I mean?
Geez.
So going on the more Tom Segura does it all the time. Goes on in characters and like. The people have no idea what he's doing that are like hosting the show and but I'm like, I feel bad. We were going to do it one time. We planned to do it when I went to Cleveland, and 2 seconds of being in the room with the girl, I go, I was going to do this thing. Like I just started confessing before I went on the show at all because I was like, I was going to mess with you, but I don't feel weird about it now. I can't do it.
Right. I wouldn't look at it as like messing with someone. Like if as long as it works and it's funny, then I don't know. But you got to do something fun to get you out of bed in the morning.
I completely agree.
But I've done one of those radio shows. I can't remember. I'm not even going to name it actually, but like I don't know what is it with like that sabotage approach to opening like interviews. I'd never met these guys before. They're not unfamiliar with me, so fair enough.
Yeah.
But then, so I figure, okay, hey, how are you? Handshake. Let's get, let's meet one another, and then whatever, we'll do this radio show. So sit down. Guy doesn't even look at me. Won't even look at me. Won't talk to me. Radio show starts. He comes back up. Immediately plays this. I guess the person who arranged it put this clip together with one of my credits was How I Met Your Mother, which I would not put on. Right?
Yeah.
But whatever, they're trying to sell tickets, so okay, I get it. The club put it on there. But anyway, so the whole first 5 minutes was ragging on me for you were in one episode. I go, yeah, I know. I didn't make the... So it was like 5 minutes of him just completely going, why would you do this? I go, well, I didn't do it. You know I didn't do it because you make the friggin' promos.
Yeah.
And the other thing was he mispronounces my name deliberately and then listens to my name. And so I said, hold on, you've been listening to that promo all week. You know the pronunciation of my name. Why did you deliberately mispronounce? So it started off in this weird fucking area.
Yeah.
And it finally just stayed that way. And I was like, I'm not even going to talk to this guy for the rest of the show. And that's the way it happened. I talked to the other guy. But there's this weird sabotage thing.
Yeah, like what are you trying to prove by being a dick? I feel
like they're like, I can still be a little dark or weird or like call you out on something and I'm going to catch you in a lie, like some sort of old Howard Stern approach. Like
that's what Bob and Tom did to me. They
really?
They flushed me out because I said my bits are like I can't do bits,
right?
Because it's my stuff's too dirty. I go, but I'll talk about whatever you're talking about. I'll jump in.
Yeah.
I know how to do radio, and they was like, well, they need bits, and when I told them, I was like, I can't because my bits are this and that, and it's like, and they go, all right. And they just kind of had me on, like, just almost ignored me. It was so bizarre.
The most awkward one I ever had was a call-in, and I called in. The guy was like, hey, will you call in this morning show to promote it was like a one-nighter. Will you call in and promote? I was like, yeah. 7:15 in the morning. I wake up, I go out to my living room, and I'm on hold, and the guy goes, on hold, he's going to be, I'm not going to say the club, he's like, he's going to be here on Saturday, and I do like a Macho Man Randy Savage impression sometimes on podcasts. And
Macho Man
but
impression.
I do it, and he goes, Macho Man, Randy Savage, and they pod me up on the phone, and I go, yeah, I'm not doing that. And the guy goes, no, I think it's Macho Man. I go, yeah, no, I'm not doing. I don't know who told you I was going to do this. I was told I was supposed to promote the show. And
Little did he know if he would have done a shitty Macho Man, it would have made you have to do it because you get that itchy.
Dude, I'd get that alpha.
No, come on, you could do it. Like, oh yeah.
I go, no, man, that's not really how it goes. He goes, no, oh yeah. I said, please stop doing that. You're doing it very wrong. He's like, I got you. Yeah, it was, and it got so awkward that I just had to bail on the call. I was like, yeah, I don't know what you want me to do. And he's like, do the voice. He goes, do the voice.
This is now insane. That's not even a conversation at this point. It's just a man yelling at another man to do something. This is awful.
I hung up and I wrote the guy's name down on a piece of paper like a psycho. Like I was gonna fucking get revenge on him. I was like, this fucking guy.
Yeah.
My girlfriend at the time was like, you psycho. I was pacing around my room like, he just thinks I'm gonna fucking die. What the fuck?
Speaking of messing with people that are unsuspecting, one of my favorite credits you have, because I'm such a fan of the show and so intrigued by the scare tactics.
Scare tactics.
I mean,
some of the most fun I've had.
I believe it. God, I believe it.
I mean, watching people completely fucking come unglued.
Look at there's one that we did, and it was the second one we ever did. And
are you familiar with the show, Jim?
Yeah, I mean, there was a whole other level of fucking with people.
Another level.
It was. Like, I couldn't believe it. I mean, I was like, holy shit.
Patrice O'Neill told me to watch it, saying, goes, I can't believe it's legal.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. They got to go to they shot in Vegas for a while because that's where they could figure somehow they got around certain issues and lawsuits. But they're so freaked at all times. We did so for people who don't know. I mean, I'm assuming most people have seen it, right?
It's just like a
high-level prank show. Okay, yeah. So I did like 10 episodes in Toronto when they were taping there, and one in particular was terrifying. It's Jimmy. I think you can find it online. It's just look up Scare Tactics Jimmy. It comes up. Yeah. This poor fucking kid. Like, we had him. So the way we get away with doing it is we convinced him that he was going to be part of a show where he's going to pretend that he's going to kill someone and then reveal to them, no, you're actually not going to die. So that's the big. So he's there to be part of this thing, and I'm the producer of it.
When they fuck somebody who thinks they're fucking somebody over,
and then we fuck him the same way because we come in saying but he really thinks that he is going to die because I'm now in a blood-covered butcher's apron with like a huge butcher's knife, and he backs up instantly. I'm like, oh my god, I've never felt that before. Like he's really afraid. And in my head, I'm like, oh no, we got to let him know a little sooner because he is spinning. Turns completely white. He says, my friend knows I'm here. She's going to, I said, we've taken care of her. It starts falling apart, crumbling. He's like he's really upset. They actually had to soften it because he was so upset. And in my mind, I'm ready to break. And you have a little earpiece in, and the director's like, don't you dare fucking break. Yeah, you keep him spinning. He is spinning like a top for as long as he can.
Holy shit.
And so in my ear, I'm like, oh, but I have this compassion for him. So anyway, we finally reveal he goes insane, but his friend comes in, and they hug, and like everything's fine. So I go back into like the guts of like the control room area, and I'm just holding my head thinking, I don't think I can do this. Like, I can't continue doing it. But then slowly I realized, no, you know what, that was really fun. And then I realized, he's fine. Everything's great. It was a joke, and the way we set it up was fine because hey, you're willing to do the same thing that we just did to you. So
you never had a moment where you're like, I'm going to say something right now. Fuck it.
That was the. Oh, what do you mean?
Like you pulled the shoot where you saw someone freaked out. You're like, I got to tell you.
That's the only time I ever came close. Because after that time, I was like trying to get everyone back up to that level.
It's like your first kill.
It's like your adrenaline is so.
Was it all in Toronto, or did you go to a little more remote kind of towns to do? Because that's what I always thought was interesting about the show. Why it was so great. Because a lot of them, when they did them in the States, the show went to you. So it's like the middle of Nowhereville, Mississippi, and they do a thing where they present you with vampires in the middle of the woods, and you're like, well, why would they bring a production here to fuck with, Sharon from work? It's like, so you watching them really believe this is happening.
I'll give you one thing. They do profile people well, like, because they meet them like months and months before under the guise of like, hey, do you ever want to be part of an audience for television? And they profile, or something like that. Yeah. So they profile them then. So anyone who's like hyper religious, like Catholic, like, it's like, okay, we can get away with the devil with this person.
Oh, wow. And so you're in the devil category.
They'll try and profile people that way. And so the very ending of this one, the poor girl thought she was there to help assist my pregnant wife, but then she's demonically possessed, my wife, and she's blaming me. So the poor girl, when she's running down the stairs, actually trips and falls, but she gets up, she's okay, runs out the front door. There should have been a producer, there wasn't, runs across the street. Now now production's going crazy. Right?
Yeah, 'cause she's out. She's out.
And if anything happens to her,
she's off the reservation.
Scare Tactics is done forever. It will never appear on television again. But luckily, so she's running across the street screaming, ringing doorbells, and so they grabbed her, brought her back. But yeah,
what's that first? To be that producer that has to approach that woman who's frantically at the end of a horror movie in her mind. It's the end of a horror movie, and she's gotten away. She's across the street. She's like, "Fucking help me! Be home! Fucking be home! You have to be home!" They go, "Karen, I'm Eric.
But imagine
I work
that.
for
That's already terrifying.
And then you're like this. You go, "How do you know my name?" You go, "Oh God damn it! I am a failed director. I work for Scare Tactics."
The fight or flight one that was the craziest. And I think it became like a pretty legendary clip was the guy in the back seat, and he thinks he's with somebody who's holding a head in a bag.
Oh, I haven't
He's going to kill them all. And then when they just, in the middle of the thing, the guy's like, "Pull over, I want to talk to you guys." And the kid in the back just starts wailing on and the guy's, this mysterious, creepy guy in like an army jacket has to go like, "You're on a TV show! You're on a TV show! You're on," because the guy just starts wailing, starts drilling him in the face. And the one Patrice told me to watch from the get-go was, like two guys went to go clean a house, and the guy left, and he was like, "Don't go in this room. This is my private office," or whatever. And then when they left, the actor goes to the mark. He was like, "We got to check out this room." And he's like, "Yeah, I don't think we should." The guy said, "No." And when he went in there, there's like human heads, like on a wall.
Oh, I was in this one.
Really?
This was the one, yeah.
And there was like a person in a cage that was like going to be next or something.
Oh, maybe it's a different one. So
I think they did this way early. This is like
okay.
Way
Sorry. We did one very similar. Go ahead. Apologies.
But yeah, there was a guy, and just like when the guy came down to it, he was like, "Get in the cage," and he just like, and they were outside, and he just goes, he did the old like, "What's that?" and then just ran. And they had to chase him down the street, going like, "You're on a TV show! You're on a TV show!"
If they fuck with like a track star in high school, and then he's just like, "Ah!" and like did that.
I met the older man stunt driver who's in it a lot.
The older man stunt driver. Okay, yeah.
And I met him in an airport once. He was like a regular on the show.
Oh, okay.
And he said to me, I go, "How do you do?" And he said, "You just kind of profile them, and they try to find people who aren't litigious." Like, they won't do people who have had a lot of court cases, they said, like in public record, because they said they can, of course, they fuck with people deep.
Could they do background checks on them, I guess, before?
Yeah, that's what they said. That's what he told me,
Question, I'd imagine, but I wonder. I'd imagine they would as deep as they could.
It's always interesting to think about the legalities of certain TV shows. Like, you're filming in Toronto where they like kind of have a certain amount, or you said Vegas or whatever. Did you guys do you guys did Crank Yankers in Vegas, right? Because there was...
Yeah, well, that was so you could record somebody over the phone.
Right, because that's the legal thing there.
It was just a one-party consent as long as one person...
There's like 10 states where that's
one
possible.
Part, knew that you were being recorded, so that's why we go to Vegas to do the calls.
Because that's smart. Because then it's like, you got to flush out that... You got to think of whoever you're fucking with might be like, "Oh, I got a brother that's a lawyer."
It's a like on Stern show, it's like a 3-person job. Like they have to call right back the person they just fucked with and be like, "Will you sign this? And we're going to fax you a paper and shit."
So is that what they do? Because that was going to be my question. Because Sal and Richard are constantly
there's a team there that has to call and make sure they get the legalities. They said a lot of stuff they can't air because you go through a 15-minute phone call and then they go, "No."
That's happened with Crank Yankers too. Some people would just say no, and then they would just go, we'll call you back in a couple days, let them calm down a little bit.
Let them cool down.
And then like 3 days later they would call, and then the friends were like, "Oh, you're going to be on that show Crank Yankers? That's a great show." And then they call, "I want to be on, and tell me what the puppet's going to look like and all that shit." So
interesting.
But we'd still lose some calls. They would just say, "No, you cannot have permission."
I was surprised how many people Christine used to have to go, or Impractical Jokers used to have to go wrangle people afterwards. And you said you were blown away by how many people were like, "I don't want to be on TV." Like, no. And it was like, they didn't look that bad or anything. It just goes, because it's always the guys embarrassing each other, and they were just like, no interest. And that's such a weird thing.
Or their kid, they'd be like, "I don't want my kids on television."
Did they pay them money, though?
You'd get to that, right?
Yeah, you can get to that.
Okay,
Try not to get to that.
Oh, I see. You train voted. So we would pay, like Scare Tactics would, like the first thing is, "Hey, I know your heart rate's up," and they're being checked out by the doctor. Like there's a medic on set. Like
someone's having a fucking stress nosebleed because they just saw a fucking vampire animal walk out of a cabinet.
Poor Jimmy is dancing for his life under a spinning disco ball. Yeah, and then we reveal, and he's literally like the heart going like, and they're counting out cash in front of of them. Here you go. Here's about $500, and if you sign here, like it's all ready to go.
That makes me wonder, because I was going to say the first thing I realized about consent for television and signing away your likeness was cops, because there'd be certain cops where they'd be blurred out, and you'd be like, oh, that person doesn't want to be on TV.
Oh, interesting.
And I wonder if cops ever got to the point where they were like, the production company's like, hey,
I absolutely believe they'll pay for the legal fees or like, misdemeanor bail or something like that. I'm sure of it, because to some people, I mean, also some people are just trash and want to sign off. I mean, people.
That's what I'm saying. But I bet there's more episodes of Cops that they'd be like, hey, let me pay for that. Fucking.
It's got to be a credit to get you garner you some favor at a local bar in some towns that you were like arrested on Cops.
Yeah.
This is a guy. We got to take our last break here. We're hanging out with John Doerr. Big questions, huge answers with John Doerr, premiering this Monday at 11:30 on Comedy Central. And of course, we got Jim Florentine, who's going to be at Treehouse in Connecticut December 1st with Rich Voss and Ron Bennington. For tickets to all Jim's shows, go to jimflorentine.com. We'll be right back. It's the Bonfire.
Damn right it is.
And now, back to the Bonfire with Big J. Oakerson and Dan Soder.
It's not your fault, Dan.
It's not my fault. My parents waited to fuck too late.
It's fantasy rock is the problem.
We're going over the lake on fire.
The plains and the mountains on my steed.
Oh, riding lightning to the next world. Yeah, I grew up. By the time I was getting into music, I was like, dude, Metallica's talking about people without sight and fucking talking. Yeah.
Landmines. There was no landmine. There was no technology for landmines in the stories Iron Maiden told you.
Yeah, but there were wizards. Welcome back to the Bonfire, Comedy Central Radio, Sirius XM 95. I'm Dan Soder, Big J. Oakerson, hanging out with Jim Florentine and John Doerr. John Doerr's special, Big Questions, Huge Answers, premiering Monday at 11:30 on Comedy Central. Jim Florentine going to be with Bennington and Voss December 1st at the Treehouse in Connecticut. Then you can see him at Hyenas in Plano, Texas, December 8th, 7th and 8th. Go to jimflorentine.com. Guys, thanks for hanging out. This feels like a round table of white dudes.
Did you, what
happened to our pal?
John, on Scared, not to keep going back to Scare Tactics, but what was the story you told the most angry the person who got fooled went, or like the most calming down process you had to see?
Yeah, he was. If you look up Scare Tactics Jimmy, you'll see what happened. And they actually had to tone it down because it was way too intense. Like, he punched a filing cabinet, metal, as hard as he could and left this huge dent in it. Like, he was furious.
After
it's revealed, he lost his mind, and he needed some calming down, but he mostly needed to just relax because he was really shaken up, and rightfully so. If you think that's happening to you, I totally get it.
Yeah, me too. They had a guy trapped in a room one time. They were looking through like a porthole at him, like a glass porthole, telling him that room he's in is about to, like, I don't know if it's going to like self-destruct or something, and all the things are going off. It looks like a room that's got a thing like that going on, and just watching this guy start drop kicking, giving his body up to try to drop kick this window out to get out of it. And we watched the one with
where they spray him down, where they say like he's been released, there's been toxins released.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
And he just watching a guy get sprayed, it's ridiculous. They wet him, then they spray him with like basically fire extinguisher shit, and he looks ridiculous. They tell him to rub stuff into his skin, and every time he goes, I just want to get out of here. They go, sir, you're contaminated, you can't get out of here. And he goes, ooh! Like, it's just such a genuine, like, just screaming for he doesn't know what to do. It's like but I've seen guys climbing over their girlfriends to get away from aliens. Like, it's such a.
Was there ever a guy you saw that did something so cowardly that you're like, oh man, you're so bummed?
No, because I don't blame anyone for their behavior in that kind of situation. Yeah, because you guys do fight or flight. Who the hell knows who you're going to be? Yeah. I've had a weird thing happen to me where I thought someone was in my house, and I went right into the living room with both arms swinging. There's no one there. A map I'd put on my wall fell down because I didn't put it up properly while I was sleeping. I just went nuts. So I know how crazy and ridiculous it can be.
So Jimmy went the craziest.
Jimmy was crazy, but there were guys that ran out and like threw their mic pack like on the roof, because you always find a reason for them to, like, wear a mic, or like you put a jacket on them that has the mic in it already, or a vest. Yeah, no, there were people that went crazy. It was insane. There's one I won't even talk about because it's actually way too sensitive. And it's like, I wasn't there for it, but when it was explained to me and what happened, I'm like, oh yeah, that's not good.
You can't give us a third.
I'll tell you. So, but this is pretty bad. So,
I might have one that tops it because we used to do hidden camera stuff.
You do it. You go first.
All right, we went to there was this
Meet the Creeps.
Yeah, Meet the Creeps.
The best. So good.
This abortion
So
clinic. There's protesters outside every Saturday morning. So we pulled up.
So this
there.
is real though.
This is real.
Okay, yeah.
So we pulled up there in a car with a hidden camera. Had a girl. She had like a pillow on the shirt, like she's pregnant. We pull up right in front of the protesters, and we get out of the car. I'm like, get the fuck in there. She's like, no, I want to keep my baby. I'm like, get the fuck in there.
My God.
And she's like, no, I want to keep her. And she starts running away, and I chase her with a coat hanger through the protesters. We had to bring a cop with us with a gun just in case. He's like, I don't know how this is going to go down, but I'm coming as an off-duty cop.
Holy shit.
A friend of ours. And we're like, we don't know how this is going to. I go, we got to do this because this could be the closing bit for our, try to get us our Comedy Central deal. But they were like, this shit is too out there. And that's what I was saying when Scare Tactics came out. I'm like, if you think this shit is out there, that stuff is a whole other level.
Oh, yeah.
And that came a couple of years. And that other show that Tracy Morgan hosted.
That was Scare Tactics.
Oh, that's right. That was Scare Tactics. And there was one on MTV that was fucking crazy too.
Oh, Buzzkill. No, it was.
There was another one, and I'm like, man, this is a whole.
Scared or something like that.
No, it was called
Fear.
Stone Temple Pilots video.
Yeah, that was it.
Vaseline.
Wasn't allowed to watch it. What was it called?
There was something, but Comedy Central at that point, like this is too crazy, this is too out there, and then Scare Tactics. I'm like, this is a whole other level. Our shit was G-rated.
Meet the Creeps was a different thing.
Well,
I mean, like Scare Tactics was funny. Meet the Creeps was all fun, just like farting in old ladies' faces. I mean, I've been talking to you for a year how old those Meet the Creeps DVDs are now, but I used to watch over and over again. You guys, the restaurant going ape shit over asking for pepper. It's one of the funniest goddamn things I've ever seen.
I would love to watch it.
Yeah, I made the guy put fresh ground pepper on my chicken for 35 minutes.
It's piled up this high, and then they go.
This is the greatest.
He goes, I need more pepper, and then the guy, the first time the guy even spoke back at all, right? He goes, sir, there's pepper all over it, and then he just flipped the chicken piece over, which is bald, and he goes, what about that?
Yeah, just start on this side now. And they brought a relief pepper guy in because the guy's arm was so tired.
No kidding.
Yeah, they brought another guy in. He comes in, he's doing it. He's switching mill. They ran out of pepper to break it up.
Somebody went in the back. Yeah, somebody went in the back and filmed them in the back, smashing
our
pepper
camera
with
guy with a hidden camera walked back there. He goes, oh, I thought this was the bathroom. He goes, no, this is the kitchen. He goes, what's going on with the pepper? He goes, your friend needs a lot of pepper. He's like, oh, we're just breaking it up. So they were coming out in bowls. And they were just dumping it on. Yeah, a little more. And there was like 6 of us at the table, not saying a word. So it was complete silence.
Norton everyone just it's like the what's the Saturday Night Live sketch where I drive a Honda.
Oh yeah, where they're just bagging their.
All you do is you're hearing nonstop like fork and like everyone just cutting up their food.
That's right. Yeah.
And watching Norton's the only one I could tell was like trying not to break. He's the one really trying to hold it together while everyone's just chewing and eating. And Jim hasn't even eaten a bite of food. He just keeps going. I need more.
Yeah, just a little more. Yeah.
How? But at what point? So why were they fucking? Why did they keep coming back with pepper? Like at one point, they're not just like, okay, this is crazy.
There's got to be a waiter there that's like, you guys know he's clearly fucking.
There's stuff, or were they just like so eager to please?
Yeah, at the end that we told them, we go, hey, it's a hidden camera show. They go, what do you think? Go, we just thought you needed a lot of pepper.
We just thought
it was kind of weird.
You can see it there, John.
Yeah, there it is.
You can see on this screen here. It's easier for you.
Just working it. You gave a guy fucking.
So you got a
carpal tunnel syndrome.
Oh, isn't it KC from Stearns?
Yeah, KC's there. Yeah.
Where's that camera placed, by the way? Oh, I see. It's just a video camera placed down on the. Oh,
yeah, we have one on the table. Okay. And we have one behind the ear, like a pen. Yeah.
There we go.
Jim. Watching him do it.
No, but so calmly, just a little more pepper there, please.
One more. Dude, and the guy's like, all right, that's got to be. He's changing hands.
Yeah. Everyone must be ready to burst.
I like watching Jim's acting because Jim's just looking at his food like it's talking. He's like, yeah, Jim, just try not to laugh.
Is this some of the favorite stuff you've ever... Like, this to me would be like... I'd be like, once I recorded this, I'd be like, you know what, I retire. Like, this to me is like...
I never thought how people would catch on.
The count.
15 minutes of pepper. They do the time elapse.
And still, look
at the relief pepper guy.
Switch it up, and there's no smiling whatsoever. Just
there's a passive aggressive to how he's turning the thing. He's like, is this enough pepper now, sir?
We'll tweet it out at the Bonfire SXM.
He's just staring at you.
Are these available, Jim? Are these available?
How do I?
Yeah, they're up on iTunes.
On iTunes.
Yeah.
They're so great.
Oh, I gotta watch. I gotta
3
download these.
pepper mills.
It gets obnoxiously worse.
You look like Norm Macdonald there a little bit. What is the name of this again?
Meet the Creeps.
That's so funny. He's just coming out here.
It's the whole plate's pepper.
Oh my God! People have to watch.
Oh,
this.
did you really? How was that bite?
It was bad. But it was worth it.
Massive bite of pepper.
But you had to do it to keep the.
You're just fucking.
You know what's funny though? You taking that bite.
This is it. This is your friend.
See, now they're breaking the pepper up.
Oh, people have to see this. This is too good. Sir, if you want any more, you're going to do it yourself.
Yeah.
I'm going to need more than that. This is my favorite thing on earth to do. I would have so much fun doing this.
I'll tell you why I love this so much is because when the person goes, when they say, tell me when you're done with cheese on your whatever, I say stop well before I want them to stop. Flipping it over.
There's also a little bit of like Jim pushing back, like hold on, buddy. I'll control this situation.
You think that's pepper?
Like that's
3 bowls of pepper.
What are you guys talking about while they're away? Are you conversing? Are you just staying in character?
We're like just staying in character.
Okay.
This is ridiculous.
I mean, people, Jim. I'm looking at Jim Norton's plate.
Honestly, can't believe this has happened.
Norton's plate's empty. He ate a full dinner.
And now Casey's asking for Parmesan cheese for a salad.
Oh, Jesus.
All the way around the table. Oh my God.
And now you're eating your peppered steak.
Oh God!
Your
How many
peppered
bites? How many bites did you take?
It was brutal. Probably like 5.
You must go back to him again, right? Like this is insane. Meet the Creeps, unbelievable.
Yeah, check out Meet the Creeps. We're going to tweet it out at the Bonfire. SXM.
Did you guys animate on those, or was it an audio that I heard? The Brothers thing is also on.
Yeah, we did an animated version of that. Yeah,
Brothers. You told me that's again. Like I get that. You said you guys had to do it chest to back. Like passing the phone back and forth? Because,
yeah, we did a prank call with this telemarketer call. And it's like, hey, we're trying to sell you this vacation. I'm like, yeah, I want to get it. Hold on, let me put my brother on the phone. And my buddy Don Jameson was right there. And I hand him the phone, and we're looking at each other. And we just, whatever she would say, like, yeah, that sounds great. Hold on, let me put my brother on the phone. And within a minute in, we just started laughing, and we never break character because it was so stupid. And we started yelling at each other like 2 bitches. Like, why did you break? You broke character. No, you did. Yeah. I'm like, come on, we had a good call there. So when they called back, we had to go back to back, and we just handed the phone over our shoulder because we couldn't look at each other.
Dude, this lady has no idea. She takes 20-some. Talk to my brother.
Yeah, hold on.
That's great.
Do you want directions? Yeah, hold on. Let me put my brother on the phone.
Do you have the brothers?
Do you know how to get to Route 78? Yeah, hold on. Let me put my brother on the phone. Just pass it back and forth.
Just watching her go fucking absolutely nuts. That's so great that you can't even look at each other, though.
Yeah, we had to. We were mad that we broke character.
But you definitely would laugh doing. There's no way. This lady hangs it. She wants to sell this fucking vacation so bad.
Have you, we were talking about when you and Rory did that on Conan. Would you guys ever break doing that live when, would Rory or you say something that broke the other?
No, you surprisingly don't hear the other person. Like we would do comedy simultaneously on stage.
Yeah, you did that on Conan. No, the one where you replace, where you're like, I can do a better job than that. Why don't you get up here?
No, not at all. Never. It's always you're acting. You're in your head. You gotta, because you break, the whole thing's ruined. So no, absolutely not.
It's gonna be a hard thing not to break, though.
No, not at all. I think once you're in on that stage and you got to do it and it's happening, the adrenaline takes over. You just coast.
But prank phone call, you can get a half smile, and then you're like, "Fuck, you got me." You fucking
on the
got
phone,
me.
you move the phone out.
Yeah. Say something. Hold on, let me talk to my brother. And then he's like, "Fuck,
I got to interview Johnny Brennan a couple weeks ago, and it was funny. I thought the charm of the Jerky Boys was always that you'd hear after the hang up, you'd hear you hear them laughing all in the background, and let you know there's a fun to it versus just being a dick.
Being dicks.
But do you have the brothers?
No, I'm not finding. I can't find Scare Tactics Jimmy. It's killing me.
Oh, it's not there? Really? Oh, jeez. I wonder what it is.
Maybe Jimmy became a lawyer, had that shit scrubbed off the internet.
Maybe Scare Tactics Disco Ball. I'm trying to think, because we make him dance for his life, and the disco ball starts spinning.
You know what's funny is just
like good people do.
Yeah, but just out of context Scare Tactics thing, you go check Disco Ball of Death. Now check Werewolf Babysitter,
Vampire Massacre.
Yeah,
do they go for it, man? I remember they said they kind of profile the people. There's a big, heavy set black woman who's definitely religious, meets the kid she's getting ready to babysit, who's a very weird kid, and the mom talks about how to take care of her baby, and she loves her so much, and then the dad comes out and goes, I'm sorry you're even here. My wife's just we're trying to slowly, like, break her from this, but our daughter passed away 2 years ago. She's like, I just met your daughter upstairs, and it's like, miss, it's impossible. And she's like, and then they show the girl behind him, like he's not acknowledging the little girl. She's like, this girl, right? And she's wigging out, and it's like, I don't know how you don't laugh.
How have I not seen that? Oh, Scare Tactics. Scare Tactics. I used to laugh all the time.
Yeah,
Scare
Is
Tactics.
this it? You dance for your life?
This is Jimmy. Dance for Your Life, right here. But I used to have to actually turn my head, cover my mouth, and pretend I was losing my mind sometimes laughing. Yeah.
Well, you'd see the friends who the accomplices were laughing a lot. That's the best part of the famous one was the Bigfoot one where they drag him across.
I love that
they
one.
drag him across the window and he's going, no. As they drag him across and just seeing like they show the shot from outside the window into the RV and you see the girl like freaking out and this kind of people behind him going like trying to cover their mouths. Like, how did she fall for that?
So good.
Well, so this is Jimmy. We found it. It says you dance for your life.
There it is. Good find. Great find.
Man, what the you doing, yo? I'm gonna shoot the out of you right now. Give me your
So what you missed before this was me explaining to him, you're going to pretend that you're going to tell this guy that you're going to kill this guy, and then you're going to undo your shirt and say, I'm just joking.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's the only thing we
What
missed.
you doing? Huh? Yo, man. Who are you? You just got boned.
He just got boned.
Just walked into a trap.
You just got boned.
He did the same thing to me.
Oh.
Someone just got boned.
And the weird part is,
Dude, that is so terrifying. Because they're like, hey, I got you. Oh,
and you have to be straight faced.
Time has been so compressed, right? Like this was like 45 minutes in the making just down here alone, and then it's cut down to like whatever. How long is that piece? A minute and a half. Like this went on for 45 minutes in his head. So
fuck.
Yeah. Fuck. And he's genuinely terrified.
Dance? Yeah.
What do you do when you dance?
I enjoy the music.
Why don't you show me how you enjoy the music, Jimmy?
Just dance.
Yes.
It took us a while to get to this point.
Why don't we invite someone else to the party, Jimmy?
Gerhard.
He's straight faced.
Jimmy's dancing, Gerhard.
Oh boy. Oh, that's added in afterwards, which is ridiculous. I don't know why they did that. What?
There we are. Gerhard. It's a dance party, Gerhard. I'll tell other people to come so you can get your pleasure and please just let me go.
Jimmy, pet Gerhard. Gently.
Oh God. So I don't like this feeling at all. So this is bringing me back to some sort of trauma where
remembering how scary
I remember, him petting the head of poor Gerhardt, like it doesn't make me feel good because I remember exactly how I felt in there because this is so compressed. I swear to God, this guy is terrified.
Yeah.
You
got him to dance scared.
He'll do anything at this point. Yeah, it's terrifing.
That is fucking...
such a social experiment.
So that's the bookcase he punches at the end, that big thing beside him.
He just rocks it.
It's really but that was one thing, my one thing with Scare Tactics that I always did get bummed out by, because the scares and the pranks are so well done and scary. They would put in produced things in the middle of it afterwards. So even like I said with the vampire things, they show like as they're taking people out and scaring them that they're killing their like friends, but it's the actors. They'd show like cutaways of the actors like falling with their necks like ripped apart. And it's like, you don't have to do all that.
Know,
like, these people aren't looking to see details. They can't believe there's vampires on this road in their hometown of Oregon. Wherever.
Totally agree with you, and totally like it's the one thing that takes me right out of that show is all the pickups they do. I'm like, the audience is not that stupid. They know that these people are out there and these people are afraid, and then to pick up all these shots that are. They can't.
The worst one was the demon baby, when the girl, the demon baby, and like they have the demon baby come out, and then they show like a close up of the demon going like right to the camera, like making a face to the camera. And you're like, it's like just show this fucking goofy chick trying to run through a wall like Wile E. Coyote to get out of there.
Those are like the Jerry Springer reenactments when they have like dangerous teenagers and they're like yelling at the camera, and you know as a producer he's like, yeah, yell right at the camera, and then they edit it into them freaking out. to make it look good. John Doerr's special premieres Monday, 11:30 p.m. on Comedy Central. Big questions, huge answers. John, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for being on, Mike. Jim Florentine going to be at the Treehouse in Connecticut December 1st with Rich Voss and Bennington, and then you can catch him at Hyenas in Plano, Texas, December 8th, 7th and 8th, and New Hope Cinema in Minnesota, December 14th and 15th. JimFlorentine.com. Jim, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks, man. Absolutely.
That was a fun hang.
DanSoder.com, Big J.
Comedy.com.
I'm going to be in San Fran this week, and you're going to be in Boston.
I'll be in Boston.
Make sure you guys come out and check that out. You have a Lost Tapes coming tomorrow, but this is the last one of the live week. Also, we have to say Becky Rodriguez here taking pictures as she does for us every week. If you want to follow her and all of her amazing pictures, Human Place on Instagram. The E is a 3. Human Place.
We love you. We'll see you Monday.
Guys.
We'll talk
catch
to you
back
Monday.
live on Monday. Crackle, crack. Thanks for hanging out, guys.
Bye.